Okay. So on the big eye, this one is called the lacrimal gland. Okay, so this is lacrimal gland. It makes tears, and it's on the lateral sides of your eye. So here then would be the lateral rectus muscle, right? And then here is your medial rectus muscle, and then on top is superior rectus. On the bottom here is inferior rectus. On the side, you can see the inferior oblique. I'm not sure if that's showing up very well. And then the superior oblique is missing, the muscle's missing, but you can see the tendon of it coming into the eye. So that's from the superior oblique. Okay, so in terms of the layers of the eye, on the outside, the first layer is called fibrous tunic. And the fibrous tunic consists of the sclera, which is all the white parts. And then it also consists of the cornea. And the cornea should be clear plastic on the models like this, but this one doesn't fit this one model. So here's our cornea. But they're both very tough, so they're both they are both part of the fibrous tunic. Okay, so to see the middle layer of the eye, which is called the vascular tunic, we have to open up the eye. This guy's just sitting there. And the vascular tunic is in the middle. So this dark brown, kind of maroon band represents the choroid. And the choroid comes up to the front, and it changes into an area called the ciliary body. And the ciliary body, which is this black region here, that's ciliary body, has muscles. And so this bright red indicates the muscles. So that's called the ciliary muscle. The vascular tunic in the front also turns into the iris. So this is the iris, okay? And the iris has a hole, which is our pupil. Okay, let's put the iris back. The ciliary body has little suspensory ligaments that are not shown here, but they would hold on to the lens. So the lens sits back here, and the muscles, ciliary muscles, will help to change the shape of the lens, and that helps you focus on different images, right? So changing the shape of the lens focuses your image. Okay, so our third layer of the eye is our retina. It's basically called the neural tunic, and it's all this orange part back here. And the retina has your photoreceptors, your bipolar cells, and your ganglion cells, and those three are actually embedded into a layer of melanocytes. But on this model, you can't see that. On the model, what you can see is basically retina, and then you have a little area here, this yellow dot, and that's your macula lutea. And that's an area when light comes into the eye, light focuses right on here. So this is your direct vision, right? Whatever you're looking at directly. And it's in the most focus, and it's where you have the majority of your cones are here. And then there is, not shown in this model, but there's a pit in the middle of macula lutea called the fovea centralis, and that's pure cones. Okay, but that's just for your knowledge, but it's not on this model. This model just shows macula lutea. Then back here, there's an area where there's a gap here, and this really is for the optic nerve. So this is the optic nerve leaving the other eye model. So an area back here, this is called the optic disc, because there are no photoreceptors in this region, and so you can't make an image. So it's physiologically your blind spot, okay, but it's anatomically your optic disc, okay. There's this sort of division between the ciliary body and the retina. This is your ora serrata, this little serrated edge, which you need to know. And just a couple other things. So the eye is divided into two cavities, okay? So the posterior cavity is from the lens back, and all the posterior cavity is filled with vitreous humor. And the anterior cavity is from the lens forward. The anterior cavity is filled with aqueous humor, which is watery. And here, the anterior cavity is divided into two chambers. So between the lens and the iris is the posterior chamber, okay? And then from the lens to the cornea would be the anterior chamber, okay? So both chambers are filled with aqueous humor, and the aqueous humor is actually made in the ciliary body, in the posterior chamber, okay? So that's that. So if we want to go through this little model, this little eye model, it has all the parts. So it has the cornea, it has the sclera. If we take this apart, we can see that we have a vascular region, our choroid, we see the iris. The iris here actually has two little areas that are different. Okay, so the inner part of the iris here is our constrictor muscles, smooth muscles, and then the outer part is your dilating muscles. Okay, so if we take this guy apart, we want to see the optic nerve back here. Let me take this guy apart. And you can see that the inside of the eye has all this posterior cavity is filled with vitreous humor. Okay, you take the vitreous humor out, and then we have the lens, right, which is going to sit here. And you can actually see they want to indicate the suspensory ligaments in the white, but that's basically it. Okay, so again, like sclera, the red is the choroid, this peach color or tan color is the retina. This is all ciliary body with the ora serrata dividing. So that's it.